books such as like the Necronomicon and stuff.
Right,
like that.
right, yeah, exactly.
Could someone or someone's in the audience who has a tablet or a computer go to the YouTube streaming link and verify that this is streaming? It'll probably be about 45 seconds behind.
What link?
Yeah, I want someone to give you a phone
It's
call right
youtube.com/user/ebenbrooks/live.
I think it's spelled /live. That's live. You need to put a V in it? I did. Yep. Looks like it.
We are streaming? Yes?
I just heard him say we're 45 seconds behind.
Approximately 45 seconds
Okay.
behind. Okay. Well, thanks
Welcome.
everybody.
Welcome to Geeky Music for Geeky People with Eben Brooks and Allison Lonsdale. Hi out there in internet land.
And this is the continuation of the experiment that we started last month. And thankfully, this month we have a much better idea of what we're doing.
Yay.
So I'm going to start off with a song about the ancient Tibetan Buddhist sage Milarepa, as he might be imagined by Tom Petty and Sheryl Crow. This is called Invite Them In. Sit down and have a cup of coffee with your firm conviction that they're out to get you. Sit down and have a cigarette with your awful fear of death. I saw Milarepa at the all-night diner, sharing a table with his personal demons. He said you got to invite them in with compassion on your breath. Stop running away, 'cause nobody runs as fast as pain and sorrow. Stop pushing away, you're just making it hard. Stop putting it off, 'cause it'll be back to kick your ass tomorrow. Breathe in, breathe out, let down your guard. Sit down and start shooting the shit with the fear that you'll never measure up to your ideals. Sit down and have a bottle of beer with the ache of all you've lost. I saw Milarepa at the coffee house, having a Danish with his hurts and hatreds. He said you got to invite them in or you pay 10 times the cost. Stop running away, 'cause nobody runs as fast as fear and loathing. Stop pushing away, you're just making it worse. Stop putting it off, 'cause it'll be back again in different clothing. Just pop the clutch and go into reverse. Invite them in and let them be there while you learn to stand it. Invite them in and give them room to stomp and shout. When they can come and go, they won't always be pounding on your door. If you let them in, you can let them out. Sit down and have a conversation with the loneliness that's eating you alive. Sit down and watch a sunset with your overwhelming rage. I saw Milarepa at the corner bar, buying a round for the monsters in his heart. He said they're really not so bad when they're let out of their cage. Stop running away, 'cause nobody runs as fast as pain and sorrow. Stop pushing away, you're just making it hard. Stop putting it off, 'cause it'll be back to kick your ass tomorrow. Breathe in, breathe out, let down your guard.
And now I'm going to do a song that The video, there's nothing coming out of the speakers. It is?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. That's weird. I can only hear this. Anyway, the video for this next song was shot right here in this room by that man right there.
Yeah, that one.
Hoot!
Oh, yeah.
Mark Engelhardt of Sun, Moon, and Stars Productions.
Yes, indeed.
I random got that melody.
I remember flowers and the candles in the night. All along the streets of Paris, all the trees were blooming white. And we walked down the Champs-Élysées to the gypsy violins. A sea of pretty faces and a memory of sin and coming home. The setting was full of stars that night, remembering the rain. Champagne and pretty faces and the chestnut blossoms foam against the sky. Trees along the open roads, a taste of apple wine. In the morning light, a white rose gleaming silvery like mine. And the music heard through open doors, cafes and dens of smoke. A bar beneath the music hall where fights broke out like clockwork, telling time. My bloodied hands were bandaged by a girl who brought me home. We loved the lonely night away where the chestnut blossoms foam against the sky. Yvettes and Mimi's and Simone's and I, their handsome prince. Life was precious to me then, as it never has been since. And I walked these twisting pathways, tracing footsteps into stone, remembering a happy time when I was not alone as I am now. When we walked down the Champs-Élysées to the gypsy violins, champagne and pretty faces and the chestnut blossoms foam against the sky. Thank you. Now I'm going to sit down for a bit while Allison performs her song, Don't Sleep with the Crazy.
I spent many years at science fiction conventions, and this is one of the lessons I learned. I've played poker with a man named Doc. I've eaten breakfast at a place called Mom's. You know the next part better than anyone because you've woken in my arms. Don't sleep with the crazy. It's a rule I call my guiding light. Don't sleep with the crazy. It's a rule I break night after night. If everybody lived that way, no one would ever get laid. Don't sleep with the crazy. Trouble is we've never met the sane. Start a land war in Asia. Cheat a Sicilian when death is on the line. You know the next part better than anyone because you've been mine. Don't sleep with the crazy. It's a rule I'll be following next time. Don't sleep with the crazy. It's a rule I always undermine. I blew a chord there. Don't sleep with the crazy. It's a rule I always undermine. If everybody lived that way, no one would ever get laid. Don't sleep with the crazy. Trouble is we've never met the same. We're all mad here, we're all bad here, we're all dangerous to know. We're all cracked here, we're all fractured, we're all howling at the moon. We're all Thursday's children, we all have far to go. 2 by 2 and 3 by 3, if not alone. Bet the devil crossed the streams, stare directly at the sun. It's a rule that never seems to stop us fucking anyone. Don't sleep with the crazy, it's a discipline that's out of reach. Don't sleep with the crazy, we only observe it in the breach. If everybody lived that way, no one would ever get laid. Don't sleep with the crazy, trouble is we've never met the same. You know, Eben usually puts the songs in order for the playlist, and sometimes he'll do very amusing follow-ups, thematically.
This is my only country and western song. But I won't sing it with a country twang.
Thank you.
There are some things that are still beneath me. I ask you, please don't write. I tell you, please don't call. You keep me up at night, in my memories recalled. Don't whistle for me, dear, like Malay or Bacall, 'cause I don't want to hear from you at all. I know you hope and pray that someday we'll be friends. I'm glad you feel that way, but I can't make amends. Is it me or is it you? Well, I guess that all depends. But when I look at you, I feel like I've got the bends. You gave me everything I needed. I needed not to have it all. If love's not a game, I haven't cheated. But if it is, God help us all. God help us all. I tried to beat it down, I tried to hold it in, but it kept gaining ground, that seventh deadly sin. I tried to carry through, come out the other end, but all I did was prove that you can't go home again. I gave you everything you wanted, but you wanted trophies for the wall. If love isn't dead, then I'm not haunted. But if it is, God help us all. God help us all. If we don't cross the line, then we won't pedal back. We get along just fine when we don't interact. So I ask you, please don't write, don't beg me to come back, 'cause I won't treat you right, and baby, that's a fact. I gave you everything you wanted, but you wanted me to take the fall. Love's not a bubble to be flaunted, but if it is, God help us all. God help us. You gave me everything I needed, but you had me pinned against the wall. If love's not a game, I'm undefeated. But if it is, God help us all. God help us all. There's nothing left to say. I should take this off so you can get the full effect of my t-shirt. No, we're not actually doing any pirate-themed numbers tonight, but this is in celebration of the upcoming Talk Like Jim Newton Day. Jim Newton being the Cornish actor who played Long John Silver in the original.
I thought it was the day where we all learned some basic phrases in Somali, like, where are the guns? There's a musical duo I'm very fond of, Dave Carter and Tracy Grammer. Dave Carter passed away a few years ago, but Tracy is continuing with their body of music. And they did what they called the first Buddhist country album, a wonderful album called Drum Hat Buddha. This is, to my knowledge, the first Buddhist song that quotes Ayn Rand. I cannot explain this. I've wasted too much time ignoring the laws of cause and effect. I've wasted too much time denying that I knew what to expect. I've wasted too much time beating on walls that just broke my fists. I've wasted too much time not living as though existence exists. It takes a while to learn to handle what you're handed, but sooner or later you learn how to grow where you're planted. The world makes its demands and will not be commanded, but when you grow up you can learn how to grow where you're planted. Grow where you're planted. I don't mean hiding in a little box and hiding from danger. I don't mean never taking any risks like flirting with strangers. I don't mean following the rules without room for interpretation. I just mean living for the road as much as the destination. It takes a while to learn to handle what you're handed, but sooner or later you learn how to grow where you're planted. You learn to do the thing I blew that one.
Yes.
You do the thing you cannot stand till you can stand it. And when you grow up, you can learn how to grow where you're planted. Grow where you're planted. Chop wood, carry water, and live your life. Stop waiting for someone's permission. Be who you are with all your heart. Say yes and make a decision. Stop living like life is a rehearsal. Grow where you're planted. Grow where you're planted. It takes a while, it takes a while, it takes a while to learn how to grow where you're planted. Yeah. It takes a while, it takes a while, it takes a while to learn how to grow where you're planted. Yeah. Stop chasing after perfection, 'cause sometimes everybody fails. Learn to be mindful of the little things, 'cause God is in the details. Don't let somebody else's metaphor become your prison. Wake up and smell the eschaton. She lies down, he is risen. It takes a while to learn to handle what you're handed, but sooner or later you learn how to grow where you're planted. The world makes its demands and will not be commanded. And when you grow up, you can learn how to grow where you're planted. Grow where you're planted. now for some Douglas Adams.
I actually wrote this when I was in high school. Promptly forgot it, and then didn't remember that I had done it until, what, 8-9 years ago?
Yep. About how much of the lyrics is Douglas Adams and how much is you?
About 2/3 is Douglas Adams and about 1/3 is me. Aldebaran is great, okay, and Al Ghul's pretty neat. Beetlejuice's pretty girls will knock you off your feet, and they'll do anything you like them to, real fast or real slow. But if you have to take me apart to get me there, then I don't want to go. Singing, take me apart, what a way to roam. And if you have to take me apart to get me there, I'll stay right here at home. Sirius is paved with gold, or so it is said, by nuts who then go on to say, see Tau before you're dead. I'll gladly take the high road or even take the low, but if you have to take me apart to get me there, then I for one won't go. Singing, take me apart, you must be off your head. And if you have to take me apart to get me there, I'll stay right here in bed. I teleported home one night with Ron and Sid and Meg. Ron stole Maggie's heart away, and I got Sydney's leg. Agrathe is a sight to see, only from inside. Flying in the heart of gold is really quite a ride. And even though the earth is gone, there's lots to see, you know. But if you have to take me apart to get me there, then I refuse to go. Singing, take me apart, what will be a better way? And if you have to take me apart to get me there, then right here will I stay. Singing, take me apart, you must be off your head. And if you have to take me apart to get me there, I'll stay right here in bed. Singing, take me apart, what a way to roam. And if you have to take me apart to get me there, I'll stay right here at home. And now I am going to sit down again,
Because it's bloody hot in here.
while Allison does her atheist bluegrass song.
I can't explain. This is called Rhyme for Reason. Here's gold for the lily and blood for the rose. Here's silk for her secrets, there are plenty of those. With a rhyme for her reason, she'll follow as far as it goes. She's got lilies in her cheeks and roses in her lips, and now and then she's guilty of thinking with her hips. With a rhyme for her reason, she picks herself back up each time she slips. 'Cause love is an old greyhound bus that's liable to break down and strand your ass out on the road miles from any town. It cannot take you home again, it cannot bring you back. Well, reason's a train that will never jump the tracks. She says, I hear that whistle blowing and it's time I was away. Got to get back to the station before the break of day. Darling, you're a detour and you're only a dead end. I need to board that train again, it is my dearest friend. There's guilt for the preacher man and sorrow for the cross. You thump that Bible hard enough, you'll numb the pain of loss. Sometimes she craves an easy answer to the questions written in fire and in frost. But faith is an old junker car with grit in every gear. You can feel lit up with loneliness, with anger, or with fear. And when the engine seizes up, you're stuck right where you are. Well, reason's a train that can carry you far. She says, I hear that whistle blowing and I've got to move along. Your church is not my destination, your directions are all wrong. I will not live in fear of fire below and wings above. I need to board that train again, it is my own true love. Here's gold for the lily and blood for the rose. Here's salt for the provable truth of what she knows. With a rhyme for her reason, she'll follow as far as it goes. With a rhyme for her reason, she'll follow as far as it goes.
So, this one is on my most recent album, Dr. Captain Dovahkiin Chief.
Oh, that one.
It is the Dovahkiin part. I slept really badly. My back's all twisted up. Coffee is my best friend. I'm on my 7th cup, and I don't know why I did it. I've got too much to lose. Guess I'm just an addict, got the too much Skyrim blues. My work's really suffering, my boss is getting mean. I need to kick this habit, but I don't want to get clean. 'Cause at night time when I'm dreaming, it's adventure and honey booze. And I wake up every morning with too much Skyrim blues. 2:30 in the morning, my eyes are full of sand. Been killing so many dragons, I got cramps in both my hands. I feel like a giant's golf ball, so high that I can't snooze. And tomorrow's just another day for the too much Skyrim blues. bugs really bug me. It locks up when I blink. I can't finish half the quest lines, and the combat really stinks. But between this game and eating, you know which one I'll choose. Won't somebody rescue me? I've got the too much Skyrim blues. Mighty Talos, hear my plea. I've got the too much Skyrim blues. It'll take an arrow to the knee to cure the too much Skyrim blues. And now, Allison's...
Let me introduce it.
Okay, fine.
Many years ago, we had a Celtic folk band, the Wild Oats. Many of you were there. And I discovered the 347 versions of John Barleycorn, and I said, that is obviously not enough. There needs to be more.
Was I alive?
No.
No.
Aww.
At the gallows and the birthing chair, in battlefield and bed, it's an old and lovely dance we do, all the living and the dead. Your partner may be a corpse or a child, take her hand and take a bow, for the piper has begun to play the sickle and the plough. To the sickle and the plough, me boys, let us raise our tankards high, for before that he can live again, John Barleycorn must die. John Barleycorn must die. There were 3 kings came out of the west in keeping with a vow, and they carried gold and frankincense and a sickle and a plough. And they neither walked nor rode, seeking one who was neither free nor slave, till they came unto John Barleycorn to lay him in his grave. They married him to the soft brown earth, and he laid down with his bride. She folded him in her cool dark arms, and in that embrace he died. And the seed he spilled in dying filled the belly of the earth. And the seasons turned and the rain fell down, and she brought his son to birth. To the sickle and the plough, me boys, let us raise our tankards high, for before that he can live again, John Barleycorn must die. John Barleycorn must die. In the image of his father, then he grew up fine and tall, till at last he wore a crown of gold which did amaze them all. In the name of both his parents, then they cut him off at the knee, and they laid his body in a cart, and they took him to the brewery. You may know him by the crook and flail as the lord of all that's born. You may know him by the torches twain and the bull caught by the horns. You may know him hung on the tree and wearing a crown of thorns. Let's raise a glass to toast them all, it's just John Barleycorn. To the sickle and the plough, me boys, let us raise our tankards high, for before that he can live again, John Barleycorn must die. John Barleycorn must die. In the straw below the headsman's block, in the straw behind the barn, everywhere that life is lost or made, there walks John Barleycorn. In his name we drink and fight and love, till at last we must lie down, for we've danced a pretty measure of the sickle and the plough. To the sickle and the plow me boys, let us raise our tankards high. For before that he can live again, John Barleycorn must die. John Barleycorn must die. And the Sickle and the Plow is on the 2 CD set Live at Lestat's, which is for sale up at the front. Also, please put money in the tip jar because that pays our sound man, Louie. And Louie is awesome. Thank you. And now for something completely different. A cover of a song by Severin Brown.
Brother of Jackson Brown. At 1,000 intersections, you can see her silhouette as she's driving down La Brea in her dusty pink Corvette. Every day a million people may discuss her mystery, but I know that her eyes are just for me. Sometimes in this city nothing means enough, but when I see her I start to remember stuff I have imagined but I've never seen, and that's why I'm in love with Angeline. Angeline, Angeline, oh, that's why I'm in love with Angeline. Angeline, Angeline, oh, that's why I'm in love with Angeline. Her spectacular anatomy is always on display, busting out of billboards scattered all around LA. I make a daily pilgrimage to worship at her shrine, because I know someday she will be mine. And sometimes in this city life can be so hard, but then I see her blazing down the boulevard, looking like the cover of some magazine. And that's why I'm in love with Angeline. Angeline, Angeline, whoa, that's why I'm in love with Angeline. Angeline, Angeline, whoa, that's why I'm in love with Angeline. In her leopard print bikini and her pink fluorescent shades, she's bigger than the biggest floats that fly above parades. And I don't care how old she is or where she gets her bucks, I only know without her my life sucks. Sometimes in this city life can be so hard, but then I see her high above the boulevard. She's the biggest woman I have ever seen, and that's why I'm in love with Angeline. Angeline, Angeline, oh, that's why I'm in love with Angeline. Angeline, That's why I'm in love with Angelique.
This one's for Madeline Langle and A Wrinkle in Time. It's called Ant Beast. Do not think me human, I am something other. I am not a woman, I do not do gender. Do not call me mother, do not call me monster. I'm not from around here, rather like the doctor. Ant Beast, I am not something that you have a name for. Ant Beast, I do not have the answers that you came for. Ant Beast, I am compassionate but not entangled. And if you learn to fold, then you can fold around the angles. And if you learn to fold, then you can fold around. I know that tesserae are tiny, many-colored pieces. I know that tessellation fills the surface to the edges. I know that tesseracts are time and space as origami. Some numbers fight like Oni, some numbers dance like Kami. Ant Beast, your categories have their limitations. Ant Beast, I am a product of the warm equations. Ant Beast, some kinds of chaos are a higher order. And if you learn to fold, then you can fold beyond the borders. And if you learn to fold, then you can fold beyond. Do not think me solid, do not think me fluid. I am beautiful if you can use the eyes of Euclid. I coil infinity inside of the forgiving minute. And there is kindness that does not have geometric limits. I know that tesserae are tiny, many-colored pieces. I know that tessellation fills the surface to the edges. I know that tesseracts are time and space as origami. Some numbers fight like Oni, some numbers dance like Kami. And if you learn to fold, then you can fold, then you can fold. And if you learn to fold, then you can fold around. And if you learn to fold, then you can fold, then you can fold. And if you learn to fold, then you can fold around.
And now my genre-savvy young love song with Star Trek references.
Yep.
Oh, right after I tune, because my guitar went way out of tune in the last song. Oh, my dear goodness gracious. There we go. I know it's quite romantic to think that no one's ever felt the way we do. And just because we're young, we might even believe it for a week or two. But there's a reason why our friends all roll their eyes when we go on and on and on. We're boldly going where everyone everyone has gone. Rushing like a rocket ship on a stellar acid trip, we let all our caution slip away. But we're only cruising for what a billion hearts before broke themselves against like so much clay. 'Cause everyone must learn the hard way. When I first saw you, I thought someone had hit me with a 2x4. I asked you to go with me to the place that everyone is looking for. 'Cause though we don't have a clue where the trip will lead us to, 'cause no one's ever drawn the charts, it's almost certain to end with broken hearts. Rushing like a rocket ship on a stellar acid trip, we let all our caution slip away. Like a human cannonball, we rise high and then we fall. No safety net to bar the way. 'Cause everyone must learn the hard way. Rising into orbit, we're higher than we can remember. Breathless in silence, we feel that it can only last forever. We see the world below, it seems to move so slow until we hit the upper air. Suddenly we're landing, God only knows where. Rushing like a rocket ship on a stellar acid trip, we let all our caution slip away. Falling through the atmosphere, we know that the end is near, but we're lighting up the earth along the way. 'Cause everyone in turn has to love so hot they burn, and discover that they've learned the hard way.
I like how he compares your first heartbreak to unprotected re-entry into the atmosphere.
Well, it feels like that.
Yeah. So we're going to close out the set with another song off of the Live at Lestat's CD. This is called Pilgrimage Road. I'm following a trail of bloody footprints down a pilgrimage road that's paved in bone, and they fit my feet exactly, just as though they were my own. When a woman is hurting past her power to express the The men around her like to tell her that she's just insane. Their world would crack if they recognized the measure of her pain. I am stealing my body back, grain by grain, from hateful lovers and dishonorable thieves. There is a power on the other side of pain that still believes. That still believes. I've been the vessel men break into out of hunger. I've been the vessel men break open out of hate. And though they weigh me down with sorrows, I continue standing straight. I'm as ugly as the honest fucking dirt beneath your feet, but I contain all the beauty of the day, and I am building something nobody can ever take away. I am stealing my story back, line by line, from the deceivers and the men with bloody hands. There is a power on the other side of pain that understands. That understands. Out of the ache of my defiance, there comes a truth much stronger than the truth of death. And I am just that force's instrument of breath and flesh and blood and bone, and stolen fire and things no man can ever own, beneath the roots of gods and cities, curled like a sleeping child at the heart of the world. The serpent's daughter knows the scar at the center of each pearl. Back at the source of holy stories, where humans made themselves out of what came before. I was the heat behind the virgin and the light behind the whore. I am stealing my churches back, stone by stone, from those who tore them down and covered them with shame. There is a power on the other side of pain that knows my name. That knows my name. Thank you. We're going to take a brief break, get some coffee, buy a CD, put money in the tip jar, and we're going to come back with another set full of awesome references that you will get because you are awesome geeks.
Indeed.
So are we just going to leave dead air for the webcast?
Yes.
Okay. Go get some coffee. You probably need it.
We will be back at 7 p.m. PDT, 10 p.m. EDT, 3 a.m. GMT.
Notice that he did that without looking at his cell phone.
Yeah, I know.
What's the Zoom time? What if they're in Greenwich, England? Did he say Greenwich? Oh, I didn't even hear it.
Is that you? That's about what I just bring the coffee.
feel like wobbly thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Are you gonna stay here, or are you
So,
gonna?
that happened on what?
I'll go ahead and take my purse if you wanna wander.
Well, I mean, the one on top, they were able to just pull. The one on the bottom, they had to do this thing where they would crack it and get the pieces
They
out.
had to do that before.
So, it's
Which
got some
reminds me, part of the roof now.
Yeah, yeah. They told her it was probably gonna happen. because
Yeah.
The tips have.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
You must have
John,
been.
they're running too close, so they don't wanna screw it up. Yeah, it's exactly what they told her was, you know, they might reabsorb, they might work their way out, if they start to work their way out, you know, give us a call, we'll finish it out.
And you know what, it doesn't, it's not, they just kind of make a teeny tiny incision, never
Make
feel it.
full use of the space, so.
Never feel
Yeah,
it.
but, I mean, just the vacuum tube thing left a pretty good raw spot,
They are?
so, I mean, between one thing and another,
No making it as regularly as
actually not
it
that
was.
surprising.
In fact, I think Eric is the only one of the old guard that is still there, which pretty much every,
Yeah, they couldn't, you know.
Well, but you also have a lot of air pressure,
no,
so.
the other,
You might have thrown
his
something
name
off.
should know, but it's in my phone, but. They always just call him Eric. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so.
I know that. No, haven't seen, really haven't seen Fletcher since he got married. I'll put on Facebook, but that's about it. Ouch. There's any games that I would love to play again. But, every once in a while.
Think over your last one, right? Yeah, that other one that's been
That's cool.
right, okay.
I hurt my back.
Yeah.
He's been going
Another one,
downhill.
it had moved or something. Yeah. Yeah, so it's not. Sit at the table upright. I don't have it.
10 hours like I used to. Yeah.
You got one.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if I ever have to have anything pulled, after my teeth are pulled, I'll drop it. Like I didn't have to have any pulled, but when we were doing braces in middle school, my brother had to have two teeth. Like, I think there was two teeth pulled, one of them was normal, but the other one they had to, put them out for, because they had to like it.
Right now.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It wasn't as difficult as this kind of thing, it's always messy. Well, you came out about a quarter. You came out of the, probably 4:10 or so.
Last year, they had, the development, the building of new housing units. I got you some extra water on it. Thank you, sweetie. Housing, only about 40% of the new range, only about 8%.
I noticed that, I went, oh, she must have been fun and looking at it.
But this table was Phoenix. And so it's kind of round.
One Norco tends not to make her like, stone.
I am falling off this table out here. And I absolutely adore it. I mean, I don't have, it's really spectacular.
Unless you're taking like straight.
These houses like 14 years ago.
So were you Pinal County or Maricopa still?
You know what, I am Maricopa.
Oh, well.
Yes.
Do you know
but
about Camden?
It's really, really quite good.
I
must introduce you to her.
I lived in Pinal for like 2.5
3 minutes.
I should be
And I was out in the desert, didn't even have roads. It was fun for a while.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about Alabama is scorpions.
Yeah, well, that's why you have cats.
Yes, he plays with them.
Oh, ours, well, there is no us anymore, but,
It's all that background.
but our deadly little grape.
Same way you leave your hair
Just
pulled.
rip your head off with them and prance around.
Oh, Norris wants out of Amanda dead.
My marriage
She just has to not have like an anchor.
Yeah.
What was the draw? San Diego was infinitely superior to the middle of the effing desert.
No, actually, it's dirty here.
Actually, I would prefer to live in Texas. I love Texas.
Very, very slow.
I'm a little terrible.
Yeah.
So I'd like to go back because the wages are the same. We have to have it around it.
I may do that. It's just not any time between February and November.
No, actually, it doesn't get cold until like June.
Yeah.
Just want water, because we're in our pool.
I remember,
It doesn't feel like 120.
I remember several Petrero Wars where the days went up above 100, or not Petrero Wars, Estrella Wars, where the days went up above 100 and the nights went down below 0.
Right, yeah, where we live, it doesn't get
That was the mistake.
It was also very different.
Did that. I had my hair down to here when I had her, and then she started doing that, and I chopped it. And she rolled up and
All right, we're going to start again because it is 7.
This one's called Whiskey Jack. It's a love song to Coyote and all the other tricksters. Hey, wicked old wanderer, with your crazy wisdom and your culture jamming, I've seen you dance with the devil underneath the bloody moon. I've loved you cast-off boys and the girls that you move out of willow branches, and I'll catch up with you at the next saloon. I've known you by 8 legs and your long and twitchy ears. I've known you by black feathers and the paws that lope through years. Tip back your old red hat and let's have a couple more beers to chase that whiskey jack on down. Hey, tricky old traveler with your monkey's paw and your hand of glory, I've seen your snaky eyes when you roll dead stories' bones. I've loved your broken toys and the girls that you made out of folded paper. God, like you shouldn't have to drink alone. I've bet on all your ponies and I lost my heart and shirt, but I want a mercury dime and a pinch of graveyard dirt. Crack another bottle, old friend, for it surely couldn't hurt to chase that whiskey jack on down. I'm a Widdershins Wednesday's child and I'm following whiskey jack down. I dress in ribbons and rags and I wanna wear a junkyard crown. I have been dancing with misfortune since the day that I was born, and it's got a pretty good beat, so come on, take my hand. Hey, clever old carny man with your rhinestone rubies and your silver dollar, I've seen you playing poker with a deck of stolen memes. I've loved your razor laugh and the marks that you leave on the high and humble. Let's slip out the back, we can get away clean. I wanna lift my glass with the lord of theft and trickery, kick up my heels with the king of the crazy and the free. It's a long and crooked road, would you like a little company to chase that whiskey jack on down? I'm a thaumaturge Thursday's child, and I'm following Whiskey Jack down. I speak in riddles and lies, and I wanna wear a junkyard crown. I have been dancing with disorder since the day that I was born, and it's got a pretty good beat, so come on, take my hand. Hey, wicked old wanderer, with your monkey's paw and your hand of glory, let's chase that Whiskey Jack on down.
Thank you.
And now for something completely different.
'Twas Friday morning we set sail, and we were not far from the land. Our captain did spy a mermaid so fair, with a comb and a glass in her hand. And the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below. Then up spoke the captain of our gallant ship, and a fine old man was he. This fishy mermaid has told me of our doom. We shall sink to the bottom of the sea, and the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below. Then up spoke the mate of our gallant ship, and a fine strapping lad was he. He said, I've a wife in Brooklyn by the sea. Tonight a widow she will be, and the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below. Then up spoke the cook of our gallant ship, and a crazy old butcher was he. I care much more for my pots and my pans than I do for the bottom of the sea, and the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below. Then up spoke the mute of our gallant ship, and a fine young mute was he. He said, and we sank to the bottom of the sea, and the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below. 3 times round spun our gallant ship, and 3 times round spun she. 3 times round spun our gallant ship, and she sank to the bottom of the sea, and the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below.
Here's a crappy relationship song.
Oh, by the way, to answer your earlier question, that's Taylor Swift. Crappy relationship songs.
Oh, thank you.
This is not Taylor Swift.
No.
This is Velveteen Rabbit. So you finally learned how to lie to your parents. A pity you picked up the skill so damn late. Most of us know how to do that by 16. How odd that it took you until 38. When they issue their orders, just how does it feel? Is there rage or resentment or just no big deal? Those apron strings must be like cables of steel. Well, maybe someday you'll grow up and be real. So you finally learned how to lie to your parents. I only wish you could have learned this before. Then you would have left me for some other reason, not calling your mom as you walked out my door. When they told you to jump, you would ask them how high. When they said dump the girlfriend, you never asked why. If they knew who your new girlfriend was, they would die. So it's handy for you that you've learned how to lie. Well, maybe someday you'll grow up and be real, but it's not very likely. You're waiting for someone to love you enough that you'll finally feel like a man. Maybe someday you'll grow up and be real. You're a velveteen rabbit, your heart's full of sawdust, and I couldn't help, though I've loved you as hard as I can. Why couldn't you figure out lying for me? Was I not an inspiring enough piece of ass? Half boy and half baby, you're caught in between. One foot in the cradle and one on the gas. It's none of their business who's warming your bed. It's none of their business what's inside your head. If all of your life you've been carefully led, then how will you know how to live when they're dead? So you finally learned how to lie to your parents. Let's throw a big party for your coming of age. Well, I'd bake you a cake and put up decorations, but I can't go around you, I'm blinded by rage. Well, maybe someday you'll grow up and be real, but it's not very likely. You're waiting for someone to love you enough that you'll finally feel like a man. Maybe someday you'll grow up and be real. You're a velveteen rabbit, your heart's full of sawdust, and I couldn't help, though I've loved you as hard as I can. I need the starting note on the harmony. Okay. Okay. So there is an Old English traditional called Epimori, which I think...
Actually, it's Scottish.
Scottish, excuse me. So it's completely incomprehensible to English speakers.
4 and 20 Hielandmen come from the current seed. For the still while it be Mary, for she wadna be a breed, she wadna be a breed.
Yes, yes.
I didn't admit that.
And as Eben is wont to do, he filked it, so.
Oh, it's the song.
24 geeky girls went to the Comic-Con for to hang out with their geeky friends with sexy costumes on, with sexy costumes on. But then out came the griefers, stared daggers at their breasts. They said these can't be real geek girls, we'll put them to the test, we'll put them to the test. Hie away from me, griefers, hie away from me. There's nay a man at Comic-Con who's got more right than me, who's got more right than me. They've taken in the dealer's room and posed for photographs. But Griefer one with ribbons on, he starts to point and laugh, he starts to point and laugh. Your costume's from an anime you haven't ever seen. It's too obscure for you, I'm sure, unless you're Japanese, unless you're Japanese. Hie away from me, Griefer, hie away from me.
There's no man at Comic-Con.
Sorry. So I screwed up, sorry.
Okay.
Hie away from me, Griefer, hie away from me. Who gives a damn who's more the fan? I've naught to prove to thee, I've naught to prove to thee. They've taken in the panels for their favorite shows and games, but Griefer too is turning blue, his eyes are all aflame, his eyes are all aflame. How dare you violate this space with your cleavage and your skin? I've half a mind to go and find who let you posers in, who let you posers in. Hie away from me, Griefer, hie away from me. If you had aught to show off, you'd be flaunting it like me, be flaunting it like me. At masquerades and parties, they surely had a blast, and lively conversations with fellow enthusiasts, fellow enthusiasts. There's no such thing as fake geek girls, there's only real dicks. You don't let their sort derail your sport, but only tell them this, but only tell them this. Hie away from me, Griefers, hie away from me. There's nay a man at any con who's got more right than me, who's got more right than me. Pester me no more, Griefers, take it like a man, and leave me to my fandom, a geek girl as I am, a geek girl as I am. Pester me no more, Griefers, take it like a man, and leave me to my fandom, a geek girl as I am, a geek girl as I am. Pester me no more, Griefers, take it like a man, and leave me to my fandom, a geek girl as I am, a geek girl as I am.
I think Will Wheaton has more right than you, though.
What?
I think Will Wheaton has more right than you to be at Comic-Con.
Well, yeah, me personally.
Yeah.
She's got a point.
There are two songs in which I combine William Blake and Aleister Crowley. This is one of them. It's called Churches Burning. We place no reliance on ghost or virgin. Our method is defiance, our aim is harder to define. We don't sell salvation, and we don't buy bullshit. We've got a map to the lost nation, but that's no guarantee of getting there. No guarantee of finding it, but we think it's worth the trip. Our kingdom came, we call it the world around us. There's power in a name, but there's power too in living life. We don't do pie in the sky, and we don't do perfection. We got a broken compass, road to wisdom always starts with wrong directions. Yes, the road to wisdom always starts with wrong directions. And we think it's worth the trip. We don't need daddy in the sky or babysitters wearing wings. The human heart's enough to light up everything. We don't need bells and steeples. We don't need books and keys. We don't need joy and wonder labeled a disease. We're not afraid of the dark. We think it's an excellent education. The shadow teaches how to be a vessel for the light. It's the discovery of fire. It's the discovery of writing. And if this breaks us, it's those cracks that let the light in. Yes, if this breaks us, it's those cracks that let the light in. And we think it's worth the price. We don't need priests and prisons. We don't need ranks and rules. We don't need shackles that we're told to wear like jewels. If it hurts like hell, we're still alive and learning. And we'll be dancing by the light of churches burning. We'll be dancing by the light of churches burning. We place no reliance on ghost or virgin. Our method is defiance. Our aim is harder to define.
There it is.
Take a drink of water so you can whistle.
This is one of the songs that my girlfriend will never forgive me for. I once wore a helm, or should I say, it once wore me. It gave me the power, isn't it great, being Dr. Fate? I lived in a tower and I studied the magics of old. It would have been perfect if I'd been the one in control. Back in World War II, when need was great, it was my fate to merge with Naboo and save the day with Alan and Jay. Back into the tower and study some more. And when I came out, I was alone. Naboo had flown. He guides someone new. Isn't it great being Dr. Fate?
that religious ecstasy, also known as getting high as fuck on your own brain chemicals. It's called Thou.
Okay.
There is a call, there is a pull, and it cries, Thou, my beloved, Thou. Saint Teresa leads the dance, and Mahadevi beats the drum. There is an ache, there is a shine, and it cries, Thou, my beloved, Thou. Jalaluddin calls the tune, and William Blake lays down the bass line. Oh, let me love the world, not a man, and let me love the world, not a woman. I wanna rise up with wings of stolen fire. Let me live in the strength of beauty, where the human heart lights up everything. I wanna break my chains and fly. There is a light, there is a heat that flares in Norwich and Assisi. It cries, Thou, my beloved, Thou, in the voice of 1,000 flowers. There is a note, there is a bell that rings in Isfahan and Bingen. It cries, Thou, my beloved, Thou, to all above and all below. Oh, let me love the light, not a man, and let me love the world, not a woman. I wanna rise up with wings of stolen fire. Let me live in the strength of beauty, where the human heart lights up everything. I wanna break my chains and fly. There is a light, there is a heat, and I will dance with Saint Teresa, crying, Thou, my beloved, Thou art in a candle and the sun. There is a call, there is a pull, and I will sing with Jalaluddin, crying, Thou, my beloved, Thou art all without and all within. Thou, my beloved, Thou, Thou, my beloved, Thou.
And this is how I make it up to my girlfriend. It was a good thing, hit me out of nowhere. I wasn't looking for love that night, but you were smiling and looking at me, and your face was glowing in the firelight. And when I looked at you, my heart began to race. The tides of my blood were captured by your face.
There's fire in the sky. There's wonder in your spirit. There's wisdom in your eyes.
Will you love me when it's raining? Will you bring me to the light? Will you be here in the morning? Will you stay with me tonight? Stay with me tonight. It was the right thing when I came up to you, taking delight in your whitening smile, your blue eyes brightening as I lean down to kiss you. Thunder and lightning, cool rain and fire. And when I you close, I couldn't stop the rush. The currents of my blood moved at your touch.
There's fire in the sky. There's wonder in your spirit. There's wisdom in your eyes.
Are you passing like the weather? Are you constant as the light? Or will you change me altogether? Or will you stay with me tonight? Stay with me tonight. Been such a long time since that first night we met. Been through some bad times, which always turned out good. It's so hard sometimes to remember how I felt that very first time, as often as I should. But when you smile at me, it hits me like a flood. I feel your heat in the singing of my blood.
There's fire in the sky.
There's fire in the sky.
There is laughter in your spirit. There is passion in your eyes.
Can you hear that distant thunder? Can you see the coming light? Lift me up and pull me under. Will you stay with me tonight? Stay with me tonight. Stay with me tonight. Thank you. That one's on my second album, Mirrors.
This is a Buddhist song. It's called the Diamond Suture. That's a pun.
Like we do.
Hold up your head, don't be deceived by all the world's illusions. Let go of all the veils you're holding up before your own eyes. Wake up, this is a dream of separation. You are awake, you are aware, you are alive, you are alone. And nothing you hold on to can be there for you. And no one you belong to can carry you home. None of the cares you are entangled in can care for you. You are not any of the things you think you are. When every road you take with open eyes leads you back to the source, you cannot be redeemed since you were never lost. Wake up, wake up. This is just a dream of form and force. You are a leaf, you are a stem, you are a cell, you are a stone. And everything you feel and everything you think is real are only lightning flickering across the void. There is no state, there is no cause, there is no end, there is no path, no shape, no emptiness, not born and not destroyed. And all is empty, and all is free. No load we carry can endure the light of liberty. With no sensation or perception or volition, nothing arises here and nothing falls away. Wake up, wake up, there is no ignorance or wisdom. There is no teaching, there is nothing left to say.
This is on my first album, Just Me and My Guitar. I woke this morning and I could not see the light. I went through the motions, too unthinking now to fight. I feel like I'm dying, I'm living just to earn my share. I want to get away, but no one seems to care. There's nothing we can do for you, my lad. You're trying to claim a thing you never had. You're nothing but a digit in our files. We care about your wages, not your wiles. Don't bother with a purpose or a goal. You realize you do not have a soul. Don't listen to your parents or your school. We make the rules. We'll open up the door and let me out. I've had enough. This thing that you call freedom is just a silver-plated cage. I don't want to spend a life where no one gives a damn about who I am, where I'm not a man, just a number on a page. I heard my best friend quit his job and moved away. He plays in a band now, he's earning hundreds every day. While I punch my time card and I sit behind my desk, never quite brave enough, afraid to take the risk. Do you really think you're good enough to try? Do you really think you're old enough to die? Don't you really want to keep your sanity? You don't really want your own identity. Take a number, wait in line, and you'll be served. All of this is really more than you deserve. Don't you worry about the kind of life you'll lead. It's all you need. Well, open up the door and let me out. I've had enough. This thing that you call freedom is just a silver-plated cage. I don't want to spend a life where no one gives a damn about who I am, where I'm not a man, just a number on a page.
To the best of my knowledge, this is the only folk song about the oracle at Delphi. It's called Pythia. I live on a mountain, I work in a cave, and people come to me for answers. The desperate gamblers that nothing can save, they still keep on taking their chances. There's a crack that goes down to the heart of the earth, and the scent of the underworld rises. When I breathe in that smoke, I know what things are worth. I can see through the lies and disguises. It's a dirty job, but it's all that I know how to do. It's pretty thankless. People don't like to hear what's true. I live in a legend, I work in a myth. I'm a dealer in riddles and trances, and the customers don't like the wares they leave with. They would rather have comforting fancies. But I say what I see and I don't tell them lies. I won't do my job badly to please them, and they all have the nerve to be shocked and surprised when the talons of destiny seize them. It's a dirty job, but it's one that someone has to do. Let's be honest, you'd rather it was me than you. I live in the future, I work in a dream. I pull back the veil of tomorrow, and those who come hoping for peaches and cream get a mouthful of ashes and yarrow. Why do they ask if they don't want to know? I am wise, but I don't understand them. They're still looking for loopholes through which they can go when the fates, like a fisherman, land them. There's a crack that goes down to the heart of the earth, and the scent of the underworld rises. When I breathe in that smoke, I know what things are worth. I can see through the lies and disguises.
Earlier in the set, Allison sang a song about being high on your own neurochemicals. This is just a song about being high.
Okay, fair enough.
Hang on. Something's not quite right. All my strings went sharp at once, which would have been fine if they had gone sharp
The same
the
amount.
same amount, but they didn't, so. Huxley was about to tread the brave new world of being dead. With pen and paper, he began to scrawl. His note said, give me LSD, 1 small syringe, 0.1 cc, 'cause when I go I want to be tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls, screw it all, I'll be tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls, screw it all, I'll be tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls, screw it all, I'll be tripping balls. No better way to end it all than by tripping balls. Willie Nelson got arrested, hash 4 kilos, he possessed it. They charged him with dope dealing, as I recall. But Willie Nelson said, no way, I smoked that much since yesterday, so please be on your way, I'm tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls, so long y'all, I'm tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls, so long y'all, I'm tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls, so long y'all, I'm tripping balls. Singing songs in crowded halls while I'm tripping balls. So many things in the world that are legal are much more dangerous. Like smoking cigarettes, driving in Los Angeles, or drinking booze. It all comes down to a question of what do you want for yourself? Because it ain't nobody's goddamn business if you do. Colorado and Washington did a thing most thought could not be done. Struck cannabis prohibition from their laws. And other drugs may follow suit, 'cause there's a movement no one can refute. And if their efforts do bear fruit, we'll be tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls, yeah, we'll all be tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls, yeah, we'll all be tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls, yeah, we'll all be tripping balls. Read the writing on the walls, we'll be tripping balls. Until civilization falls, we'll be tripping balls. What is the next line? I don't recall. I'm tripping balls.
You are a really bad influence on children.
You know, do you remember how anti-drug you were when we met? You were so offended at the sheer idea of people hacking their own neurochemicals for fun. And look at you now, you're all grown up. It's wonderful.
These people
No,
are,
we met 26 years ago.
These people are so There's no bad influences.
Well,
I'm a child.
Okay.
she turned out just fine.
Yeah, she was raised on our music from infancy.
Yes.
You're bad.
Yeah, in utero, yes.
Weren't we?
Yeah.
To some extent, yes, I believe you were.
At least we turned out okay. I think.
So we
far.
are going to close out the set with one of our greatest hits. There will be a brief quiz in comparative religion after this song.
Yay.
In the streets of a northern city, in a used bookstore, an espresso bar, somebody looked at me with coyote's eyes, playing acoustic avatar. He said, "Follow me, woman, I'll need your hands, and I'll need your voice and your old guitar. There's a party tonight down at grandmother's place. You won't really have to go too far. Just over the freeway and through the smog. Follow Buffalo Soldier and Blackfoot Dog. The fire in your head lights up your face. So come on down to grandmother's place." I was chasing us all down the yellow brick road till we came to a door in the earth that glowed. A voice said, "Granddaughter, lay down your load and come on in and have a beer." Well, Jesus was drunk and Muhammad was stoned. Gautama hallucinates all on his own. Confucius was off in the corner alone saying, "What the hell's going on here?" And the Sufis were teaching the Shia how to twist and shout. Asherah threw Yahweh into the pool. Inanna was taking Persephone down to the basement to reminisce. And Lilith and Vashti were chosen the queens of Misrule. Just over the barbed wire and through the wall, 'cause grandmother's lodge can hold us all. The fire in your head lights up your face. So come on down to grandmother's place. Pan and Gabriel were blowing their horns while I tried on somebody's crown of thorns. And I got as drunk as the day I was born, but somehow I was still up and walking. The serpent was telling old tales to the goat, while Manon and Amun-Re were talking about boats. And Mescalito was taking notes while Our Lady Sophia was talking. Isis and Mary were bitching about their uppity sons. The band played loud enough to wake up most of the dead. Kali was giving Susanna suggestions on what she could do to the elders. And Judith and Salome were making bad double entendres about giving head. Just over the river and through the woods, where the food is loud and the music's good. The fire in your head lights up your face. So come on down to grandmother's place. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
We will be back here third Saturday in October, and I hope we'll also be live streaming that show. That will be the All Monster Show. Between us, we have easily 2 hours of songs about monsters, evil, and the supernatural. Feel
Yep.
free to dress up.
Absolutely, we plan to.
Oh no.
All right.
I plan to peel off my human mask.
Okay, you do that.
And again, please feed the tip jar on your way out. For those of you watching online, there should be a little eye in the upper corner of your video stream. If you click that, it opens up some tabs, and one of them is the funding tab, which you can click upon and be taken to a page where you may make a donation directly to my channel, which would be, of course, very much appreciated. Thank you all for watching online. Thank you all for being here in person, and we will see you next month.
Yay. I gotta say, these people are really bad influences.